December 11, 1978. New York was covered in the cold darkness of an early winter morning. At John F. Kennedy International Airport, cargo workers continued their night shift, unaware that history's most famous airport robbery was only minutes away. Hidden inside one of the airport's cargo buildings was a fortune. Lufthansa Airlines had just received millions of dollars in cash that were scheduled to be transported overseas later that morning. Few people knew the money was there, but someone had been watching. For weeks, members of New York's organized crime world quietly gathered information about airport security, employee routines, and the exact location of the money. The robbery wasn't planned by random criminals. Behind the operation stood experienced men connected to one of New York's most powerful crime families. They understood one simple rule: if everything went according to plan, the robbery would last less than 2 hours. Shortly after 3 o'clock in the morning, a dark van quietly approached the Lufthansa cargo terminal. The men inside wore winter jackets, gloves, and ski masks. Every member of the team already knew exactly what they had to do. Within moments, the robbers entered the building. Employees were caught completely by surprise. The criminals quickly took control of the warehouse, forcing everyone to remain calm while they searched for the cash. The thieves knew precisely where to go. They walked directly toward the secure vault where millions of dollars in valuable jewelry were being stored. There was almost no hesitation. Inside the vault were stacks of cash prepared for international transport. Bags filled with American currency set beside packages containing expensive jewelry that had arrived from Europe only hours earlier. Working with incredible speed, the robbers loaded millions of dollars into waiting containers. Every minute increased the risk that airport security or police would discover what was happening. Just before dawn, the crew disappeared into the freezing New York morning with nearly $6 million. It was one of the largest cash robberies America had ever seen. But for the men involved, escaping the airport would prove to be the easiest part of the entire operation. As news of the robbery spread across New York, the FBI launched one of the biggest investigations in its history. But investigators soon realized the greatest threat to the robbers wasn't the FBI. It was the Mafia itself. When airport employees finally managed to alert authorities, the FBI and New York police rushed to JFK Airport. Investigators immediately realized they were dealing with something far more sophisticated than an ordinary robbery. The crime scene revealed almost no mistakes. The robbers had worn gloves, left behind very little evidence, and completed the operation with military precision. Every minute appeared to have been carefully rehearsed long before the robbery took place. Investigators soon reached an important conclusion. The robbers knew exactly where the money was being stored. That information could only have come from someone with inside knowledge of airport operations. Attention quickly turned toward airport employees. Dozens of workers were questioned. Financial records were examined, and investigators searched for anyone who might have secretly passed information to organized crime. Behind the scenes, however, something even more dangerous was happening. Members of New York's Mafia were becoming nervous. The robbery had attracted enormous attention, and everyone feared that someone might start talking. Within weeks, several men connected to the robbery disappeared. Some were later found murdered inside abandoned cars, warehouses, and quiet suburban streets. Others simply vanished without a trace. Investigators believed someone was systematically eliminating potential witnesses before they could cooperate with the FBI. One by one, the people who knew about the robbery were disappearing. Despite interviewing hundreds of witnesses and following thousands of leads, the FBI struggled to identify the mastermind behind the operation. Every promising trail seemed to end in silence. Rumors spread throughout New York that the stolen money was already being spent. Luxury cars appeared overnight. Expensive jewelry, fur coats, and lavish parties suddenly attracted unwanted attention from investigators. But one man remained strangely calm while chaos surrounded everyone else. His name was Jimmy Burke. Although investigators suspected he was deeply involved, proving it would become one of the FBI's greatest challenges. The FBI believed Jimmy Burke knew exactly where the millions had gone, but before investigators could get close enough, more bodies began to appear. and the stolen money seemed to vanish forever. As the investigation continued, one name kept appearing in confidential FBI reports: Jimmy Burke. Detectives believed he had orchestrated the robbery from the shadows, using trusted associates to carry out every step while keeping himself far from the crime scene. According to investigators, Burke feared only one thing: someone talking to the authorities. To protect himself, he allegedly ordered the systematic elimination of anyone who could connect him to the robbery. Over the following months, bodies linked to the robbery were discovered across New York. Some victims were found inside parked cars. Others disappeared forever. One by one, the people who knew the truth were silenced. Ironically, the greatest mistake wasn't made during the robbery itself. It happened afterward. Several gang members began spending extraordinary amounts of money on luxury cars, expensive clothing, jewelry, and lavish lifestyles, exactly what they had been warned never to do. The sudden displays of wealth attracted investigators, who started connecting seemingly unrelated crimes to the Lufthansa robbery. Every expensive purchase created another piece of the puzzle. Years later, several members of the criminal organization were convicted of unrelated crimes, but almost no one was ever successfully prosecuted for the Lufthansa robbery itself. The millions had simply disappeared. To this day, investigators believe a significant portion of the stolen money was never recovered. Some think it was hidden in secret locations. Others believe it was quietly laundered through criminal businesses over many years. The Lufthansa heist later became one of the most famous organized crime stories ever told. It inspired books, documentaries, and scenes in legendary Hollywood films, turning a real crime into a lasting part of popular culture. Nearly 5 decades have passed since that freezing December morning, yet one question remains unanswered. Where did the missing millions actually go? Somewhere, perhaps. The last pieces of the Lufthansa fortune are still waiting to be found. The Lufthansa heist wasn't just one of America's biggest robberies. It became a story of greed, betrayal, loyalty, and silence, a crime so perfectly executed that even decades later, many of its secrets remain buried. Nearly 48 years after the Lufthansa heist, investigators still believe not every secret has been uncovered. The robbery changed the history of organized crime in America, inspired some of Hollywood's greatest crime films, and proved one unsettling truth. If you enjoy true crime, unsolved mysteries, and history's greatest criminal stories, subscribe to Hidden Files. There are many more unbelievable real cases waiting to be uncovered.